Hi, Stella. Yeah, Glock time. Oh boy, hi, welcome back. Today is a special little thing, special little stream. Let me move my microphone closer. Because I remember last stream actually there was an issue with it cutting out, so I don't want to encounter that issue again. But hi, welcome. Today is a special little stream. Gonna be doing something a little different today. Gonna be giving, I don't know, a presentation, sort of? A pseudo lecture type of thing. Excuse me. We're gonna be doing something kind of weird. I'm gonna be talking about scanlation and typesetting and translation. Because hey, little known thing. Very little known actually. I only started talking about it like a week ago. I am a translator. Not exactly by trade, but I translate for fun. And so, you know, that's just what I've done for a while. And so I thought I'm long past the point where it could be assumed I'm using the translation to advertise my streams. And also well long past the point where you might assume I was using my streams to advertise the translations. So I thought, hey, this might be a fun little thing to do where I just go through translating and what goes into it exactly, and how it can kind of affect, you know, how it can affect your workflow, how you can affect your workflow, just how the kind of work that goes into it, and the sort of things that you won't think about if you read a fan translation of something. Yeah, we'll get into it in a second, but first, obviously, we have one very important thing to do. Let's make some tea. As you can see, this is the old tea table, actually. This is the old tea table I used to use, because I don't feel like breaking out the big one, which is in the background here. I don't feel like breaking it out, so we're gonna use the tiny little tea table. And as you can see, this is also a different kind of setup, because, yeah, tea time. I don't feel like using a pitcher either. This is kind of very lazy tea time. This is the kind of tea time I'll actually have. Like, this is sort of what my tea setup will look like on like a random night where I'm just, you know, I just want to have some tea and I don't really want to do all the work. I'll just have a filter for the cup and then I'll have my tea. Half the time I won't even use the tea table. I'll just have the cup on a coaster and the gaiwan just on its little plate, and that's it, you know? And then if I spill, I just wipe it up with a towel. But let's check the temperature real quick, make sure we're at least above 200. We're a little below, so I'm gonna give that a second to heat up. This is a aged right pu'er tea. That's a show pu'er. This is from 1992, I think. This actually isn't my favorite pu'er, but it's nice, and I thought it might be good for today. So we're gonna drink it. That water is probably fine. I don't need to, I'm not gonna sit here and wait. Sorry. I'm also not gonna preheat. I'm gonna do a wash anyways, so you know. But we're gonna, I think I just bumped the mic. I hope I didn't, but I might have. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead, fill that up. And then we're gonna just grab that. Try to get this in a good position so you can see everything, and pour. You can see this cup is not exactly great for this. Very small cup, but it's also a very pretty cup, so I like using it. Anyway, there you go. That's the first steep of tea. Ain't that pretty? Let's give it to chat. This is also, oh, there you go, chat. Ooh, baby. That burnt my fingers a tiny bit. That was really hot. You gotta, that's one thing if I use this cup, is I gotta kind of limit how much water I add. Otherwise, I will burn myself. And Celeste will get mad if she is here. I don't think she's here right now, though, so, you know, we're fine. We're good. We're Gucci. We're chill. We're chill. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Look. Hey. But yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, this is a stream about translating. I didn't want to spend a super long time on the tea. I promise tomorrow when we play, or not tomorrow, what am I saying? It's Wednesday. Friday when we play Metal Gear Solid, I will have the property table. But for now, you can just have a sniffer of this lid, and we can check that out. That's a nice looking tea. That's not as dark as I like. I might have done that not long enough, but anyway, I'm gonna try to take a sip of this. I'll probably burn myself because this is hot. Yeah, no, I can't touch that. Never mind. All right, you can see the tea. You can have a look at the tea. You can look at it. You can admire it visually, because I can't touch that cup. It is too hot. I will burn my poor little fingers off. So we're gonna just... That was the wrong screen. That was the wrong screen. Oh, we're off to a great start, aren't we? We're already off to a fantastic start here. I'm already fucking up. I'm already messing up, but not even, what is it? What, 8 minutes in? I'm already screwing up. This is what you're here for. I know it. You're here for this legendary scuff. Okay. Anyway. So, give me a second. I'm gonna try to organize things. Mostly my thoughts. Yes. So, translation. Hi. I'm a translator, maybe. I studied Japanese in university. And then after I studied Japanese, after I stopped to try to actually graduate, I abandoned the thoughts of getting a Japanese minor. I was around N3. I'm no longer N3. I tried taking the N3 exam and I failed it. Not exactly miserably, but I did fail it. So, you know, there's that. But, you know, there's a little bit that went into getting where I am now. In terms of, I'm sorry, I should have scripted this better. I have a note sheet that I'm like looking at with like stuff I have to talk about, but I did not organize this. I did not organize this as like, oh, here's where we're gonna start, here's where we're gonna end. It's just bullet points, and I wrote them down as I could think of them. Let's talk about the big thing. Let's talk about the big thing, which is getting into Scanlation something for you? Now, you might immediately think, well, I don't know Japanese, so I can't translate. So no, it's not. And to that, I would say you have very good work ethic. You are very responsible, because most people who get into Scanlation do not know Japanese, and they do not think like that. They are using Google Translate, they are using DeepL, and they are putting out some truly fucking terrible stuff. And most people don't care. You know, that's the thing. If it's pretty enough, if it looks nice enough, if it's written in correct English and isn't nonsense, then people won't really care that much. However, it will occasionally become an issue of, you know, more so, it becomes noticeable after a certain point. You can only get so far, you can only ride so far by doing machine translation. I actually have a little thing here. I have a little slideshow here, actually, that I can show off. Here we go. Hey, it's my slideshow. Let's get into this. Where is it? Go ahead and load that. Go ahead and load whenever you're ready. All right, this is not the correct screen. This is a different screen. Okay, here we go. This is the right screen. So this is the screen I grabbed. This is 2 different panels from the same manga that appears to actually not be... Hang on. Why is this like... Okay, let's try again. Okay, so this is 2 panels from the same manga. Exact same thing. One is machine translated, one is translated by an actual person. You can probably guess which is machine translated just by the fact that one of them has very obviously untranslated text right here, because that is one thing machine translation immediately fails on, is that as soon as you try to translate things that are handwritten or just a funny looking font, it completely fails and it's worthless. Of course, this is an extremely basic statement. It's in hiragana, which is like what babies learn. It's literally the first thing a Japanese baby will learn how to speak. Actual baby speak. A toddler could translate this better than a machine. But the machine can't pick up on it. OCR can't pick up on it. So you have no way of reading this unless you know the language. So it isn't translated here. It is translated here because this is obviously by a person who at least maybe doesn't even know the language. Maybe this is just someone who's better at doing machine translation, which is something you can do. That's, machine assistance is sort of something that is more prevalent, I think, and is not, a bad thing. That's like, oh, you're looking up words, you're looking up characters because you don't know what they mean. And that's where this comes in. But you can see, there's different just levels of how this is translated. You can see words are done differently. And that gets into an entirely different topic of sort of localization versus straight translation, which is not a topic I'm looking forward to talking about. So we're going to switch away from this really quickly. We're going to switch away from this, and we're going to go over to, as soon as it wants to open, where is it? Here it is. We're going to go over to my actual translation screen. Wowie. Jesus Christ, that's big. I really should fix my overlay so that it is not busted like this. So here's the part that you're actually here for. This is the part where I'm going to show you what goes into translating. My background is going to be busted a little bit. The chat box is going to be gone, but I will try to position it so I can see you down there. There. Now you're in the free corner of my CSP screen. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So anyways, what's the big thing here? What you want to... What is what am I fucking talking about? I feel like am I sounding like I'm just making shit up as I go? I feel like I am. I feel like I sound like I'm bullshitting right now. I feel like I'm giving presentations at a library again for my company. I feel absurd. Like, actually absurd. But hopefully I sound alright. I don't know. Is anything I'm saying even making sense at the moment? Or is this just like nonsense coming out of my mouth? I feel like this is nonsense. Let's get into some practical stuff so they can stop being nonsense very briefly. And I just realized I don't have my fucking translation page open. Hang on. That's kind of important to have. So this is the 6th chapter of the manga I'm translating at the moment. And it is already translated. I've already translated this. I translated this in its entirety, I think 2 days ago. I started work on it. I think I finished this Monday night. I translated this whole chapter. Yeah, I did. So this is already done. However, I want to show off how I personally do things. And how, if you wanted to get into translating or scanlating specifically, which is just you probably see the term around, it's just the general term for translating, scanning pages into a computer, typesetting, QCing, redrawing. It's sort of the general word for the entire act of fan translation, of just everything that goes into it. And then there's smaller categories below that, which today I'm just showing off the category of scanlating. Sorry, no, I'm yawning. I'm sorry, I just got out of the shower because I just got back from a bike ride. So I was moving a lot earlier, and I'm thinking that might be affecting the quality of this. I'm so sorry. Anyway, this is sort of how I'll do things. This is not a great page to start with, honestly. This is a better page to start with because this has actual text on it and dialogue. So one quick thing to note is that when it comes to typesetting, one particular, and by the way, the program I'm using is Clip Studio Paint. That's the program I own, so it's the program I use for this. You can do this with any art editing program, though, any image manipulation program. But one thing that I've seen recommended to do is right over here in this sort of this sort of panel that says color. It's not showing up on stream for some reason, but this panel drops down and you can set a page to be monochrome or gray or in color. And what that means is I'll just really quickly here draw something here. Okay, now there's that in color. I set it to gray, and now it is the closest grayscale as it can be. right? It is very simple, very easy. Then monochrome is just completely removing the presence of anything but blacks and whites, right? This removes shading. This, there's not really a reason to use when it comes to translating like this. It can make the pages look a bit cleaner, but you don't want to upload them like this because you're not uploading. When it comes to cleaning pages, which is essentially just the process of, here, I'll move this back over so we can see again. Cleaning is essentially just the process of getting everything, removing text mostly. And also, if you plan on redrawing effects in the background like this, this here is an effect. These are effects here, these lines. Here, this text on the screen, again, is effect text. You would be removing all that so that you can add in the text in a different way. And I'll actually switch right now. We'll go back to my little PowerPoint slide very briefly, because I have actually exactly a panel for that. Hang on, where is it? Here it is. This is the panel for what I'm talking about. So this is just an example of translating flavor text like effects and, effects, strike lines, just, words, stuff that would typically not be translated like that. You can see on this sort of side, by the way, this is, on the left is Horimaya translated by TSP, and on the right is Sentai Dai Shikaku translated by Kamen. Both of these, by the way, are good ways to translate. It really just comes down to the workload and the work you want to put into this versus what you're planning to get out of it. And TSP, by the way, Kamen is one person, as far as I know at least. It could be more people, but they mostly just present themselves as a single person operation. So you don't have, big flavor text like these giant effects being translated, because that's an incredible amount of work to do for one person. And what you're getting out of it isn't that significant. The effects are important to what's on screen, but they're not hugely important, versus TSP and this, which you can see every single bit of flavor text, every effect sound on the page is translated. And it's done so in a way where it looks extremely natural. You can basically not even tell. Let's see, actually, if I can, there's, hang on. Let me zoom out. Let me go back to, hang on, sorry. I should have done that a bit better. If we zoom in a bit, you take a look at the effects where they are, and it's extremely hard to see where sort of the redrawing happened. That's because TSP is an extremely professional group that has been translating for over 10 years at this point. They are very good at what they do. They are a highly efficient team, and they're able to do things like this versus a more new translator like Kamen, who's a one-person operation. And generally speaking, just when it comes to this, especially for weekly releases like this is less of an issue for if you're translating a really old series. At that point, it's just a matter of preference. But with a weekly series like this, you don't want to, the groups translating them don't necessarily want to spend an extra 2 days redrawing all the effects. If it's a single person operation, or even if it's a group operation, they don't want to spend multiple days redrawing effects just to have it be marginally better. Because I don't think I have an example of it here, but do I have an example of it here? I don't. Okay. But versus just writing in, what's it called? As opposed to just writing in an effect like here. Let's go back to this. I am having to move my windows around a lot. Like here, we can actually, we'll go back to the first page because the first page has a lot more effects. It's like this here is an effect line. Oh, that's not the color I wanted. I wanted red. This here is effect text. up here, this is effect text. And all that, you know, like if you were to redraw this, I have an example of redrawing actually on my PowerPoint, but I will just go through super quickly. Process of redrawing this would basically be getting as much of this erased as possible, and lining up colors that you remove and replacing them basically. So like here, hang on, I'll try to get this as close as I can. Like you can see where this is connecting to stuff. I'm not going to redraw this entire thing. I'm not even going to redraw this because I'm not particularly good at redrawing. But we can see here, you would have to, you know, reconnect all these different parts and make it look as close to the original as you can before you then add in your new effect text. Which, you know, there's a whole lot involved with that I'm not good at. I will show really quickly. I have actually, on my PowerPoint slide again, an example of a quick redraw I did. So this is a super quick redraw I did just to get the example out of what I'm talking about here. So these are two panels. One on the left is obviously been redrawn, one on the right is the raw text. And maybe you can't see if you're not looking for it, but there is sort of some blurriness where I redrew things sort of down by the bottom and top. You know, this is sort of the easy, when it's just shading like this, it's a lot easier to redraw, but you're ultimately still sacrificing something to do so. And it's, you know, if you're not good at redrawing, it's better to just not do redrawing at all because it's just going to look bad like this. You know, well, I don't think this looks bad, actually. I think bad is maybe overselling it, but it's going to look not as good as it should. And that goes into a whole other issue of knowing where you can stop. Because when it comes to redrawing, you have to have sort of, you know, if, hang on, let's see if there's an example here I can use. Let's just scroll through this, scroll through all these pages. Where? Okay, there's not really an example on these particular pages, but I'm fairly certain there is an example on the last version of this I did. Let's go find that. Really quickly. No, there's not. All right, never mind. Never mind then. I don't have an immediately accessible example of it. But sometimes text, if it's outside of if it is for whatever reason outside of a text bubble like this, say if it were down across a character's face here, then redrawing would be necessary because you can't just, you know, like in an example like this down here, I would just get my text, I would select the font I'm going to use, and I would just type out what it is. I would just select this. I would go through the process of getting all this set up. You add an edge so that it sort of more resembles the original text. And then you try to justify it. Like for text like this, I will always justify it to the left side. And then other things you have to do, like take note of this text being smaller than the name of the character. So you're going to make that smaller, make this text bigger. And then for this sort of thing, you know, especially if it's using a background, you can just slap it right over the original and it's going to look pretty all right. You know, you're not going to take up a huge amount of room by doing this. Here. Yeah. So this will look fine. Like you can read that. So it's pretty all right. That said, for this one in particular, I think I would want to make the edge a bit bigger. Just so, you know, that can mess with it a bit. Oops, that's not right. Let's go back here. Thank you. You know, increasing edge size is a nice, easy cheat to getting things to be more readable. But ultimately, it's also, you know, when you cheat at something, you're making sacrifices, and this makes the sacrifice of the text becomes less in line with the original text. That said, it's readable. You can tell what it says if you look at it at a glance. That's a good test, actually, is that you should be able to say, step away from the screen and look at it from a distance, and you should be able to immediately recognize what's written down. That's also an issue that comes up with, what is it? That's an issue that comes up too with stylization of text. Like this text I'm using, this font I'm using, I mean, is just called stencil. This is what I prefer to use for titles like this. I'm just going to take a sip of tea right now really quickly, actually, because I'm realizing I've kind of been going on and on without stopping. I'm just going to real quick take a sec. Okay, sorry about that. But this is called stencil. It's written here. I have other text I can use too. Obviously, it's less text like this. This is my regular sort of speaking text that I'll use. This is just an alternative speaking text I'll use sometimes. This is what I use for when characters are talking over radio. And it actually lets me see that some of these are just weirdly spelled. And then we have text that you would not want to use ever. For instance, this. This is really heavily stylized text that's kind of, you would need to have a super specific situation to use this text in, because otherwise it's kind of hard to read. And the same goes for this text. This is just straight up not readable. You look at this, yeah, obviously this would fit better for a fantasy comic or manga, but even then you wouldn't want to use this because it's just hard to read. You'd want to use something like this instead that has a similar vibe to it, or this. You'd want to use stuff that looks similar, but sort of maintains a good readability. Because, there's a sort of balancing act between readability and between stylization, and you want to always make sure you're balancing more towards readability. You never want to have something be stylized to the point where it's hard to read. It shouldn't even be remotely hard to read, actually. At least in my opinion, it should never be difficult to read. Like if you zoom, oh god, something just fucking beeped in my ear. What the fuck? I think these headphones are starting to go. They're kind of, bits are starting to fall off of them, actually. And the sound quality's been going down a bit. But yeah, you should be able to zoom out a fair bit and read it. Like I can still read it from here. You probably can't read it from the screen, but that's how I take care of that. And luckily, because this is sort of in the corner, and because the English text can be roughly the same size as the original Japanese text, this is sort of easy to apply. You don't have to worry too much. But if this were, like I said, over a character's face or something, or in a place where it's less, more on a area that's containing an action or is a part of or is focused on, then you would have to redraw it. And if you're not confident in your ability to redraw, if you're not able to redraw very well, it's the kind of thing where you kind of have to sit down and say, okay, it might not be a good idea for me to do this. It might not be a good idea for me to translate this particular manga, or I might want to reach out to somebody from a different group or just somebody and ask them if they'd be willing to come on and help with it. I've never reached out myself personally. I've had people reach out to me for help with stuff like this, but in general, you will want to just know your limit, really, is important. Like when you're getting started is probably the hardest time, because I'll once again come over to my little slideshow here. And this is just an example of from when I was getting started translating. This is sort of a page from the very first time I translated something. You can see I couldn't even keep it in the text bubbles, this is because I started translating purely on my own. I didn't work with a group. I worked as a solo operation, and so on top of looking weird, and not fitting in that like this, I'm grateful could easily fit in this text bubble. You wouldn't even have to break up the word grateful, and I just didn't. That's another thing. It comes down to sort of localization versus, in the same vein of localization versus literal translation, I should say, is that you will end up, personally at least, I end up rewriting lines at least 3 times when I'm translating something. I do the initial translation to get as literal as I can, and then I'll rewrite it to sound better in English. And then I'll probably rewrite it again to make it more fitting with the scene and to sort of make it less of a literal translation, trying to make it sound a bit better in the context of whatever's going on. And then I will rewrite it a 3rd time when I eventually bring it to the typesetting stage and get it there. Just because sometimes you write a line that's really, really good and you're like, wow, I did great on this. I can't wait to post this. And then you get to the point where you actually have to post it, or the point where you have to put it onto your page and you realize, oh, this is way too long. This is not, you just sort of realize, hey, this is way, way too much. This is too much text. I have to remove some of this. And I'll show that, I probably am going to have to do that here. But first, I'll show off the process of cleaning this. For me, what I always do, you can just, gosh, you can entirely just go down to your color picker here and go up to white. I don't like doing that personally, just because I never know exactly what tone a page is going to be. So I always color select instead. Then I will get a brush at like size 60, and then you will just erase everything here. And every so often, if you zoom in really, really far, I don't know if you can see this here, this sort of, you can't really see it on the, stream, but I can see it. I can see there's like some blurring here from where the text was. You can erase that. That's going to be more noticeable basically anytime, like here, if we just zoom really hard in this, I don't know if you can see, there's blurring around these letters that will ultimately just get erased when you clean, but it's something worth keeping in mind that, there's going to be some texture loss if you're not willing to go really, really deep into it. But I'm going to just continue here to clean this. And this is also a final chance before you finish cleaning to sort of check everything, check what's being said by the characters. Typically, that's not going to be, like, when you're translating, you should be confident in what you're writing down, and it's not hard to be confident in what you're writing. However, one thing you may want to, sometimes you got to make the brush smaller to get into these gaps. And as you can maybe see here, there's a leftover from what I was just cleaning. Just this sort of line between them. I'll clean that up, remove it. And then we will switch to black, go to our stencil, and we will, first thing I'm going to do actually is just make this smaller. I'm going to pull up my translations. And now I'm going to just start typesetting this page. So I'm going to grab my text. This is my, like I said, wild words. You can use whatever font you want to write text. This is, this is wild words. This is kind of, you'll probably see this the most if you read a lot of fan translated stuff. It's kind of the most popular sort of general speaking font. I don't love it. I have sort of love-hate with it. You know, it looks nice enough, but it's just like, you know, I don't love it. I think it's kind of a little ugly. It doesn't always fit, but you know, you can use whatever. I used to use fucking a version of Comic Sans when I first started out. You know, like you can use whatever you want. You don't have to worry about it too much. But I just copy paste into this, and then I start hitting enter. When I'm doing text bubbles too, I always keep the text center justified, so that, you know, it kind of makes a very even box that I can scale up or down. That's another thing. When you're scaling up or down, something you want to try to do is to make your text bubbles, at least on a single panel, you want to try to make your text bubbles as close to the same size as you can. So right now these are font size 29. Oops. And so, you know, then you want to check and make sure it's in a good spot. You don't want it to be too far up or down. You want it to be as much in the center as you can, and you want to edit the words to sort of get around that and make sure it's, you know, as close as it can be to the center. So I'm going to continue here. And since those were 29, I want this to also be 29 if possible. Yes, that'll work. Right, that looks good. Then we've got right here more, not really flavor text, but this is, oh, it looks like it didn't translate that for some reason. Whoops. Luckily, I know who this character is, so I can just really quickly wait. Really quickly just get that in. Okay, then the same as before. Oh, one thing you can do actually is you want to try to make sure every line is always the same spaces on, you know, whether there is a space at the start or the end. If there's a space on one, there should be a space on all of them. If there's no space on one, there shouldn't be a space on any of them, and you can kind of just choose how you want to do that based on your own preferences. That doesn't really matter though. Okay, we're gonna hit this again. We're gonna reduce the size on these. Make that 20. I'll make these 25. And there, that looks, I don't love how that looks actually. Let's make that a bit bigger. Yeah, so this is another time when you kind of have to make these calls based on your own preference. I think I want this to, that's better. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you just have to play with the way the text is formatted, and it will look better. Like this, I don't want any text going over onto a character where there wasn't text already on the character, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Then switch back to WildWorks. Grab this. And once again, see there, that kind of was in a, make this 31. Good. Grab the next one. So I hope I'm doing at least a decent sort of job showing off how sort of my workflow goes with this. I might not be, but you know, if I am, I'm glad. If I'm not, I'm upset. But you know, it's really just a matter of making things look nice. It should look nice to you, but it should also have an appearance that is on some level objectively nice looking. Oh, also, here's another thing I can touch on super quickly is cussing. Cussing is ultimately up to you. You can decide to do whatever you want. I like to try to limit it. For me, unless I'm translating, a series specifically meant for adults over 18s, I will try to limit the cussing in stuff I translate to sort of PG. You can get a damn or a hell in there, but nothing more. Don't go too far. That's also just me being a tiny bit of a prude, but you can decide on your own. It's just this is like this especially is a series for younger kids, so it's not exactly in line with it to have it be full of cussing. But let's see, can I fit a 29 in here? Does that look? Kind of fits. I'm a little. I wanna. Yeah, that looks better. And like I said, if you remove the space on one, you have to remove it on all of them, otherwise it will mess up the formatting. And that's this entire page done. So let's real quick look around, make sure there's no errors here. There aren't. I already checked my Word doc for errors. So on here. So all right, that's one page done. We're just going to save. If you want to keep, personally for me, when it comes to saving, it's easier for me to just save over the original file because I'll have just another version of the original file somewhere else. But if you feel like you want to have all these in a separate folder, you should. If you really want to keep raws and non-raws separate, you should just make new folders and copy paste everything over, because otherwise it's just going to be a massive hassle. That's my tea done, so I'm going to start boiling my kettle a bit. And then, so yeah, that's the basics of sort of this. That's the very most basic version of the workflow. Picking text, actually, here we go. Really quick, I'm going to change this actually. This should be bold. That's one thing you have to sort of keep an eye on, and that's another thing where you kind of have to. Jesus, okay, hang on a sec. I'm gonna let that boil up. Sorry. While that boils, let's go over to my slideshow one more time. Hang on. Window capture, slideshow. Please, thank you. Here's my slideshow. This is just an example. This is, like I said, this is how my stuff looked at the very beginning. Then this is sort of more. This is the very next chapter, right after that one. I immediately made a bunch of, at least the improvements of keeping things in the bubble. But you can see I also would sometimes tilt text to fit it, which isn't a great practice. It looks kind of weird. It's much better to just use a dash and break up a word if it doesn't fit. And then this is after this series. Oh, excuse me, gosh, that I've been showing pictures of these two. Is it this one too? No, that's what I'm working on now. But these two pages both are part of a series called Darkness Heals Lily, which was the first manga I translated. And so you basically have when I started, the very first thing I translated, and then on the right side here, the very last version of what I translated, you can see where I started doing better fitting things in. It would take me a bit longer to... Oh, that's done boiling. It would take me a bit longer to get really comfortable with it. Like, this is then basically what my very next translation looked like. The thing I'm working on right now that I'm showing off you know, you can see I've started with this one using, you know, more varied text, more varied fonts. You can actually see right here on this one, this wasn't the best redrawing job. It looks kind of crap there, actually. I wish I could have done a better job on that, but you know, that's a thing you will sort of decide for yourself. Your standards are yours to set. You know, that might sound a little odd, but you know, you decide how much effort you want to put in to something like this. Like if it's just a hobby for you, or you know, if you're doing it purely to get you know, some old untranslated thing out, then you know, you can, you know, especially if it's something that's never been translated before. You know, if there's nothing to compare it to, then you know, the standards can be a lot lower. Obviously, machine translated will get you yelled at quite a little bit, but you know, generally speaking, the standards are still lower in terms of like I didn't bother translating this SFX here. I didn't bother, you know, redrawing it either. Redrawing in general, I don't really do because I'm not good at it, like I said. But you know, I feel like you should be taking notes. I mean, only if you want to get into this. Sandina, well, thanks. I'm considering editing this down to an actual like YouTube video after I'm done, just to kind of have everything be a bit more concise. But for now, go back to CSP because that's my entire slideshow. I have nothing left to show on that. I've shown everything on there. So let's get back to this. Was there anything else I wanted to touch on before I get into kind of just showing off the workflow of what's it called? Before I just start showing off this workflow? I don't think there is. One thing worth noting is that if you were interested, you know, typesetting is the easiest sort of form of Scanlation to get into, a fan translation to get into, because all you need to know how to do is how to use a you just need to know how to use image editing software. And if you can do that, then you can do typesetting. You know, there's, I don't know if there's like sort of versions of it, or I don't know if there's like, you know, textless versions of stuff with translations available where you can test it on that. Because this is obviously everything I'm doing right now is illegal. Like, you know, legally speaking, this is piracy. This is media piracy. If Subaraya Productions found out I was doing this, they would send me a cease and desist. You know, and that's the one thing that is just a part of fan translation, is that it's illegal. You know, it's a gray. It's not illegal. It's a legal gray zone. There's a legal gray zone where you kind of have to just decide on your own your standards. Like, when an official translation comes out, do you scrub all of your translations? Personally, I was originally of the mindset that yes, I would do that, but that leads into a different issue that happens, which is the issue of scrapers, which is a very fun thing we get to get into now. I'm going to go ahead and go to google.com, and we're going to, I'm going to show this off. So hang on. Where's this? Where is this? Hang on, where the heck is it? Here we go. Okay, here we go. We've got a little private tab. So, like I said, what I'm translating right now is Ultraman Nexus. Right? It's a TV show from 2004. Add manga to it. And here we go. This is Ultraman Nexus on MangaDex. This is the page for what I'm translating right now. Yeah, 8.1. Wow, how nice. 4 stars? Who rated this 4? I mean, I guess it doesn't make much sense if you haven't seen the TV show. But regardless, this is the only place right here where I officially upload this. Scroll down a bit though, and immediately, hey, look at this, it's a different website. Wow, what's this place? Interesting. Hey, look, it's literally my exact chapter, page for page, exactly as I uploaded it. What's it doing here? Fun thing. There are about 100 sites like this that essentially scrape. As soon as something that gets uploaded to MangaDex, it is scraped by about 100 or so other sites and re-uploaded. As soon as this is done, that's it. You've lost control. Basically, as soon as you upload it to MangaDex, you lose control of whatever you've just uploaded. Even if you edit the chapter down the line, it's not going to matter. The first version of whatever you put up is what's going to go out, and that's just the end of it. That's something where if you let's keep scrolling. MangaBat again. Mangalot, Mangalo TV, Manga Hiro, Manga Iro. Cool novelcool.com. What else? Is there, how many more can I see? I think that's about the end of it, at least as far as this goes. But yeah, so that's basically same thing with anime. Yeah, no, anime fan subs are the same thing. When I did fan subs for anime, I was able to avoid that by virtue of the fact that I did speed subs, essentially. I was just, the value of my TV subs was that I was the first one to have them out. And I also uploaded them exclusively as script files, so that also made it a lot harder to re-upload. But it still happens. Like, you just heard, there was just a situation with that new Toei animation. What was it? What was that new Toei animation about the band girls? I don't remember the name of it. I remember seeing the controversy, and I remember thinking, wow, yeah, that happens. Where somebody uploaded a script file to form somewhere, then someone else took that script file, embedded it into the video, soft subbed it, edited a couple lines, and just stole the translations. That's much more malicious than what scraping is, which is really just re-uploading the stuff word for word. That's why basically every time most of the time at least, 99% of the times that you read a fan translation of something, you will find a credit page. I have, hang on, I'll really quick just open my credit page here. Where's the credit page I used for this? Here. This is the credit page I made for the chapter 3 I uploaded. Just fucking bullshit memes. However, the big thing, the entire reason you make a credits page is because these scraping websites just grab everything. They do not figure out which pages were originally from the manga and which were added. They just take everything. So you add a credits page basically just so you can have your name on it, so that it can be very clear, like, hey, this is who worked on this. If you want to have any credit for what you do, if you want any credit whatsoever for what you do, you have to have a credits page. Because even if a website like MangaDex does credit you very well for the work you did and the group you're part of, it does not extend to scraper websites. And obviously somebody could remove the credits page very easily, but that would be a bare minimum amount of work that scraping websites do not do. And this is just, I've had everything, single thing I've ever translated except that TV show be scraped. I had the biggest translation I ever did got as big as it did because someone took it and re-uploaded it on Twitter after I posted it in the Discord. Luckily, they gave me credit. It's not like they linked my Twitter or anything, though, so the credit was kind of like, hey, yeah, it's this person. So if you ever saw my name again, you'd get it. But, for the most part, it was just like, yeah, it was this person. An hour later, I saw it re-uploaded by like 5 other accounts that did not give credit. That's kind of just, you accept that. You accept that as part of sort of the work, is that credit is whatever in the wind. But, and standards are also different depending on what you do. Like, I kind of mentioned it offhand, but I did get my start translating. The very first things I translated were, of an erotic nature. And the standards are different between the two of them. Maybe not in the way you think, though. Machine translated and somewhat crappily translated safe for work manga is generally still, yeah, for shame, I'm sorry, but crappily translated MTL safe for work manga is still generally accepted. It's not like spit on. People appreciate it still, that somebody put in the work of typesetting and going through and translating things, even if it's not a very good translation. R18, as soon as you pass that threshold, people will fucking eat you alive. They will kill you if you upload machine translations that are bad. They will, if you have a single untranslated line, they will fucking kill you. They will eat you alive. They will beat you to death in the back alley. They will absolutely tear you to fucking shreds. This, hang on, let's go back to it really quickly for a second. Fucking, where is it? Where did I put it? Where the hell did I put it? Hang on. Here it is. This page right here is from I'm sorry, I lied to you, I misled you. This is from an erotic dojin. The comments under the poorly translated machine translation one were wishing death on the person who did it. They were tearing this person apart. They were writing paragraph-long takedowns of how bad it was, pointing out every single error he made, even really minor ones. It was fucking horrific. They ate that person alive. It was scary. They wished that person ill. And that's just what you put up with. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was the only example I could find, because like I said, they're fucking feral about it. They go insane if you try to upload some bullshit like that. They will kill you. They will kill you dead. Been bamboozled. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I tricked you into seeing a safe work panel of a not safe for work comic. But yeah, the standards are different. So luckily, I wasn't machine translating, so people weren't exactly tearing me apart. Recovery, I appreciate it. I'm sorry for the permanent damage I did to you. But yeah, there is that change of standard, the difference in standards that you kind of have to accept. Like redrawing is much more like, in general, actually, something I've noticed. I'm sorry, I'm going to go into the topic of sort of R18 translations a little bit. In general, something you will notice is that redrawing is much more important for R18 works, because for whatever reason, people are looking to appreciate the art much more thoroughly. And so a lot of the time, you have to redraw. If you are going to do that seriously, you need to know how to redraw. And it gets to points where you have to be very good at redrawing, because people will criticize you if you don't redraw. Like, I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. People will yell at you and say, why didn't you redraw this? You shouldn't have even bothered translating this if you couldn't redraw it. You should have gotten someone else to redraw it for you. They will just yell at you for every single reason. So you have to have higher standards if you're going to do that. Luckily, standards are slightly lower for general manga because you're not dealing with insane people for the most part. Yeah, the degenerates are much more mean about these things. But anyway, let's get back to let's completely move away from my PowerPoint now, and let's go back to this. So, translating in general. Yeah. I'm gonna open up my files here, and we're actually just gonna move over and make the shift to just working on this now. Now we're going to actually just talk about this and work on it a bit. So, yeah, that's basically that basically covers everything in terms of what I wanted to talk about. Oh God, excuse me. With like the ins and outs of this. One other thing, I guess, is that if you were to get into translating, let me actually start working on this while I talk about this. But if you wanted to get into translating, something you sort of have to reconcile with for yourself. Oh, hang on. I want to make sure that's not my landlord yelling at me. No, it's not. I'm fine. One thing you have to reconcile with yourself is whether or not, are you going to be doing fan translations for profit, or are you going to be doing them for fun? And that's an extremely, extremely important thing to decide for yourself. Because personally, I do it for fun, right? That's why I do fan translations. I technically have open commissions, but I have never once had somebody accept them. It's just never happened for me. Just no interest in it, I suppose. And also, people don't want to pay a lot of money for a translation. Is just something you also have to stairs. Listen, look. But yeah, no, there's people don't have very high expectations. Like, I would used to what's it called? When I was translating a TV series, it took me about 5 hours to translate a 23-minute episode of a show. And so at one point somebody, came to me and was like, "Hey, I want to commission you to translate this 1 hour long movie. What would that cost me?" And, I was like, "Okay, well, let me think about it." I charge, say, minimum wage, American minimum wage, federal minimum wage. So $7 an hour. If I charge $7 an hour, it'll take me probably 10 hours to translate. So I'll charge $70 for the whole thing, for the translation, typesetting, timing, and all that. Sent that back to them, and they ghosted me immediately. People do not want to pay money for translations. That is something, if you decide to get into it, that is something you are going to deal with immediately. Is that, like, you hear about Crunchyroll, about how they just don't fucking pay their translators very well. That is simply the reality of the situation. People do not want to pay translators anything. They will not pay translators anything. Just in general, if you are going to, do translations, you have to accept that you're probably not going to make any money. You have to accept that what you are going to make is probably going to be very little. If you want to make any money off of it, you're going to have to undersell severely. Like, what I see as the typical range for manga translations that people will charge is that they will just charge outright $2 per page. They will charge $2 for a single page of whatever they're doing. It does not matter what the manga is, does not matter how much text is on each page, it's $2 a page. So yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Of course, that takes into account on a certain level that some of those pages are going to have very little text. Like, you saw one of the pages I just did. Let's see, is there another one here that I can show off? No. Like, this page, I guess, has one text bubble. This would be $2. This would be $2 for the full page. And then a page like this that has way more text would also be $2. So that's kind of your rate. You're having to decide what's worth, what are you compressing? What is the max you would charge for a page with a ton of text? And what is the lowest you would charge for a page with very little text? And you just apply that. Even if a page has no text on it, you apply that to, this is how many pages are in the book, so this is how much I'm charging. Of course, that means you make next to nothing, and yeah, not even minimum wage. Like, let's time it, actually. Let's time. I already started working on this page, so let's grab this page, and I'm going to start a timer. We're going to see how long it takes me, just not even to translate this, because I already translated this. How long is it going to take me just to immediately typeset this page. Let me, here, I'll give myself a really big bonus here. Okay, I've got everything set up. Let's see, what is it going to take me? You believe, I don't. Let's see. So, oh, I completely forgot. I have to clean the page actually. So cleaning takes, I don't even know how long this is gonna take. Cleaning probably takes me a minute and a half. I'm also rushing right now, which I don't typically do. Typically, typesetting is also really nice because you can listen to stuff while you do it. Like you can listen to music or watch streams while you do typesetting, which is nice, you know? You cannot do that while you're translating. I've tried, you just lose focus entirely, and when you're translating specifically, you kind of have to be focused on a single thing. And that single thing has to be translating. But, you know, it's up to you, really. That's why I think typesetting is kind of super approachable, is just because you can do it with little other skills, and then you can branch out if you want to into trying to translate as well. And translating in general is something that's, you know, what's it called? You can do whatever with it. You can translate into whatever language you want. You can translate into that's not a very good break. Hang on. What's a good way to break the word Mephisto? I think this is a fine way to do it, actually. Let's just stick with this. And we're going to set this to 40. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Now I got to do this, actually. Because you will make errors, you'll make errors, you'll have to correct things. This one I'm actually... Yeah. That's, you know, sometimes also when you're just translating like this, you decide you want to change a line because it will fit better. Or for whatever reason, you know, you may want to change a line. And that's fine. You know, that's just a part of how it goes. But okay, that's good. Maybe it could be a bit higher. Let's recenter that. Okay. Yeah, personally, I'll tend to rewrite multiple lines multiple times as I'm streaming. I'm not used to talking on end like this. I'm already flubbing. When I'm typesetting, I do tend to rewrite a lot, especially a day later. Like I like to, if I can, have multiple days, or at the very least one day between 24 hours between when I translate something and when I typeset it, just so that I can have some time to think about it and to look at the lines I've written again and be able to say, hey, this is kind of whack. You know, this kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. This kind of crap. You know, so that's just a personal tip. You don't have to do that. You can do everything in a single sitting. I mean, that's the other thing too, is that doing everything in a single sitting takes a really long time and, you know, will be kind of exhausting. Now here's a fun thing. Hang on. So here's an interesting case where a line, to get the full context of the line, is impossible because it's literally too much text. This line, it fits in this bubble in Japanese. It does not fit in this bubble in English. So now we have to rewrite this. This is one of the main reasons I'll end up having to rewrite something, is just because, you know, it doesn't fit. it literally won't fit, so I have to do something else. So in this case, I'd go with also, when you're typing like this and doing line by line, it's good to try to remove the muscle memory of putting a space after every word, because the enter will just serve as the space. Okay, here's the rewritten line. Fits much better, conveys the same general meaning. And yeah, okay, so we've got that. Now, one thing I want to do now is make sure I switch back to my normal text. So go, we'll increase the size on this to 20. I like to do 27 as basic big size. Yep, that's good. Then here, continue typing. One thing is that I do actually, this is a part of the work that I really enjoy. It's kind of just simple, kind of clattering away like this. This is something like normally if I'm doing this, I'm watching a stream in the background. Like the other day I was watching, when I did the 4th chapter that I uploaded yesterday, I was listening to the Mint Matara podcast while I was doing that. You know, because you can sort of have other stuff going while you are typesetting, because there's not, you don't have to be listening for something like you do with translating. And even translating, you don't really have to be listening for something, but your mind is going to be kind of occupied with, you know, the issue of translating. Your mind is focused on one thing and trying to focus on something else. You're either going to end up, you know, not listening to the podcast or not listening to whatever you're watching, and you'll what's it called? You'll either not listen to what you're watching and then you'll end up wanting to rewatch it, or you will make a mistake with the translation, and then that's, you know, an issue entirely into it of itself. But yeah. So hang on. All right. One last line. Oh, I actually messed up here. These all need to be a different font. And that's another thing. You know, if you're going to make things different fonts, it's going to make things more complicated because you will have to remember to change those fonts. Can be very difficult sometimes to remember that. And so that's maybe an argument in against doing that, against making everything its own font. It looks really nice, and people will appreciate it. They probably won't voice that appreciation, though. So really, if you're going to do that, you're just going to be doing it for yourself, which isn't a bad thing. You know, translating just for yourself can be very fun. That said, here's the very last line. Set it to that. Load that up a bit. Okay, there we go. So that's this page done. That's the typesetting complete. I'm just going to look everything over, make sure it looks good. Does, okay. And so I'm going to save. And how long did that take? That took me 9 minutes and 52 seconds, so almost 10 minutes to do this one page. So 10 minutes for $2. Actually, that's not too bad. That means, so in an hour then, I would make, if it takes 10 minutes per page, this is 9, so 6. So that's basically, fuck, so that's, what, $12 an hour then? Give or take? No, it's not. It's not $12 an hour, because that completely excludes the fact that I have to translate the page. Translating the page probably takes me 15 minutes. So more realistically, this is a 25-minute gig, which means I am making about $5 an hour. Realistically, I can translate and typeset 2 pages in an hour. So that's $5 an hour. Not a very good rate. Yeah, bad. That's why, like I said, if you're going to translate, if you're going to get into Scanlation, you should do it because you're passionate about it, because you want people to be able to experience these, manga and stories and TV shows that they wouldn't otherwise if you weren't doing. Or you just want them to be able to experience it faster, like I was doing when I translated a weekly TV series. But yeah, actually, I know I mentioned earlier the, what's it called? The trailer I did. I wonder if I still have that. We'll get into that at the end, actually. But yeah, so this was also a pretty text-heavy page. Plus, there was multiple different fonts. So maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a good, 10 minutes is what a pretty complicated page would take me then. Relatively complicated, I should say. So, even still, translating this whole page probably took me about as long as well. So it's not, yeah, don't get into it for the money. Don't get into it for the money. But yeah, let's save that. Hop over here, and we'll do this. And we're just going to get right back into translating. Let's peek at my list. Oh yeah, so one other thing with translating is that, right, if you want to make money with translating, like if you're going to just disregard what I just said about doing it for passion instead of money, because you want to make money, you want money, you're doing this because you're trying to make some bank, you're trying to feed yourself a little bit, totally respectable. I get it. If you're trying to do that, then subbing random old manga like this is a terrible idea. You simply will not. Hang on, let's actually redo this whole page just so I can double check. Oh yeah, this is weird. Okay, whatever. But yeah, if you're going to sub random old manga like this, then people are not going to be lining up out the door to commission you. Yeah, niche stuff. The fan base you're translating it for will appreciate you, but they probably won't pay you for it. Yeah, passion project purely. But, if you wanted to immediately and rapidly create an audience for yourself, then the best way to do that is to sub an already popular series. Now, of course, there's 2 reasons you'd have the opportunity to sub an already popular series. One of them is that the translator who was already working on it dropped it. If that is the case, then, there's probably a reason they dropped it. Potentially the reason they dropped it is just going to be that they don't have time to do it anymore, which is the best case scenario for you to hop on and immediately start translating. However, the more likely and the more common reason they will stop translating it is that it received an official localization or translation, and now there's a big company sort of hovering over the manga, ready and prepared to fucking grab your throat or the throat of anyone who tries to translate it, right? That's, as I've seen it, the more common reason this happens. And, you know, that's a risk. You're painting a target on your back, essentially, by doing that. And that's not necessarily, you know, something you want to be doing. It's a risk, obviously. If there's no way to contact you, then that risk is mitigated so much. You know, but it's still, you're going to take a risk if you're doing it. The safest and fastest way then to do this, to immediately take over a project that's really big and get the notoriety that surrounds it, is something called sniping. You may have heard of sniping if you bother to read the comments of manga sometime. And, you know, sniping is, to put it nicely, looked down upon. People don't like snipers because they're basically people who ride off the hard work of someone else. And, you know, they're riding off the hard work of someone else and trying to get credit for it and trying to reap the benefits despite not necessarily putting in the real work, you know, not putting in the work of building up the series. And it's most common when the group or hang on, I'm just gonna boil some water. It's most common when the group who's currently translating something starts to get slower with it, you know, which happens for a lot of reasons. It took me 2 years to translate a single chapter of this manga. You know, that's the kind of situation where sniping would be pretty acceptable. Hang on, I'm gonna pull my mic and I'm gonna keep it right near my face so I can try to minimize how much that's gonna be heard. But, you know, it's looked down upon. If it's less looked down upon if the original group is taking forever with it. And typically, if they're taking forever with it anyways, you can just reach out to them and ask, like, hey, are you still doing this, or can I take over the project? You know, and that's less looked down upon, because then you can be like, hey, I asked, they said I could do this, this isn't a snipe. And people are fine with it. If you just decide to randomly start translating it, though, then it's seen as a snipe, it's seen as disrespectful, seen as kind of scummy, but it will get you that notoriety you're looking for very quickly. Only if you can keep up with it, though. So, you know, it's really, it's petty, it's rude, it's disrespectful, but if you're really looking to immediately get some, you know, notoriety to advertise commissions that are going to make you almost nothing, you can bomb your reputation and do that. You know, it's an option. It's not one I'd recommend, and it's not one I condone, but it's an option. Now my water is done boiling. I'm going to take a quick break to pour this. I guess it's a break I can also take to, you know, answer questions, which I don't know, Stella, if you have questions about this, but I'm not the most experienced when it comes to this. I mean, technically I've been doing this since 2021. You know, so I've been doing this for a while at this point. It's not like I'm a newbie in the scene anymore, even though, you know, I've done, I guess going fast is actually kind of what I'm known for, despite the fact that it took me 2 years to sub a single chapter. Just enjoying me to, oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Like I said, I don't know, maybe making this a proper video that I upload on YouTube is gonna paint a target on my back. Maybe I won't do that, but, you know, I don't know. Either way, doing things you enjoy is fun. And it's more fun if people don't hate you for doing it. You scans for BRS illustrations, so this is the wheelhouse of things you like. Oh, nice. I've been meaning to get into scanning. I've talked about it. I have a massive stack of boxes filled with old doujinshi from the 90s. You know, erotic doujinshi mostly. And I just saying that makes me sound like a fucking weirdo and a creep. But the reason I have all of it is because I went through, this was all stuff I found in someone's storage unit. It was a Japanese man who abandoned his storage unit. When I worked at a self-storage place, went through his unit, found a ton of these, and I decided, like, hey, I wonder if any of these have ever been archived. Look them up. I've basically, on a day I'm working alone at the storage place, I go through every single book he had and check online to see if it's been archived anywhere. And I separated the ones that have been, the ones that hadn't been, and I took the ones that hadn't been with me. And so now this massive stack of books is all stuff that for almost 2 years now I've been meaning to scan and upload online so that it can be archived properly, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So much to learn, but have so much stuff, and being online isn't like, all right, may as well preserve it somehow. Yeah, right. That's exactly what it is. I don't know. I gotta find a good scanning machine. I gotta find a good scanning machine that won't destroy the books. Like, how much is one of those book scanning machines? It's like what's called super fancy. That's like a piece of glass you press down onto it. That's probably like at least a couple $100. Yeah, Jesus Christ. $600 for a basic one. Oh my god. What, like $200 actually? Oh, $2,000 for a good one. Christ almighty. Yeah, these don't come cheap. Archival is a thankless job. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess I'll save up. What I can buy a scanner to archive all this stuff that's just sitting around, or I can buy a live 2D model. Wow, what a similar fucking bit of what an equatable thing. How nice. Anyway, let's return to this really quick. But lucky you have a different home scanner in your library. Oh, I wonder if my library would not like me if I came in with a bunch of fucking erotic fucking manga and started scanning it on their computers. They would not be happy with me. They would be very fucking upset with me, perhaps even. They'd be looking at me like, what the fuck, we're about to revoke your library card. What the hell are you doing? It's like, I just gotta be like, I'm archiving, I'm protecting written works, I'm ensuring the future of these written works. Please, I'm not a pervert. I swear to God, I'm not a pervert. Please. That looks bad. Let's not do that. I promise I'm not a pervert. I'm just trying to archive art. Please. That's just how it goes. Here we go. Library has a whole thing like, don't do not safe work stuff, but it's also your business. We're not allowed to judge. Yeah, no, I don't know. I still wouldn't want to. I don't even know what my library's policy is because I've only been a member of it for like 2 weeks, And it's like, just bad. Just I don't want to risk that. I'd rather just save up for, a decent scanner. Then I can also just scan stuff. But anyway, yes, such is the fate of people who like to preserve stuff. It costs a lot. I worked with someone briefly as QC for one of their projects. Yeah, the shame of doing it is a whole other thing. That's just like, oh god. Yeah. But I worked with someone briefly. I did QC for one of their projects. I can actually just say I worked with a group called Barrack Scrubs for a little bit, working on I was doing some QC for them of a show called Ryukendo. And, I feel bad about that, actually. That was a project where I had a lot going on as I was trying to do QC for them, and I fell behind a lot, and they wound up actually hiring and paying somebody else to do QC for them in place of me, so I was doing it for free, so I don't feel like horrible, but I feel bad that I like wasted so much of their time trying to get these things caught up. I delayed them, so I feel bad about that. But I was talking with the leader of the group, and they mentioned to me that, like, oh yeah, I spent like I paid about $1,000 to get these VHS tapes of some old '90s anime, and now I'm paying another $3,000 to get a special machine that will rip the film data directly off the VHS, so it completely preserves the color, film quality, and everything else, and it's going to make literally the perfect possible rip of this VHS tape. I was like, wow, how much have you spent on that? And they were like, oh, probably about $5,000 just for this one thing. But, then I can reuse it for other things too, so it's fine. Like, I paid $13 for the digital version of the Nexus manga. I like to think of myself as a bit of an archivist. Like, oh, Christ. The money these people have. Oh. But yeah, so it goes. So it goes. That doesn't look great, but it looks better than it. I don't. Can I redraw that? This would be fucked up to redraw. Do I have tone? Hang on. Do I have paneling? I might have a paneling effect here. I think I do. Hang on. Here we go. That's not right. That's not right. Oh, I might use this for something else, actually. But that's not right either. Oh, dots. Oh, baby, there we go. Hang on a second. Let me get that. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, actually, this is a pretty bad way to do this. What am I doing? Hang on. Let me, first we're gonna grab this. We're gonna erase this. Or we can't really erase, actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, oh, we want white. I wanna just get rid of this. I wanna get this as close to the skin, I suppose you could say, as possible. Yep, there we go. And then I'm going to grab, I'm going to select, use the selection pen. I'm just going to cover this area. And then we're going to apply this. Eesh, that's not very good. Is there a different effect I can use? What about this one? No. I need this like super, super dense. No. 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 Come on. No. Just. Duh. Like. Shape. Oh, hang on, I can kind of do something. Books. Oh. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? I'm being a stupid fucking idiot right now. I'm being so stupid right now. I don't know why I'm doing this. Hang on. Hang on. I'm being stupid. Why am I taking all this fucking effort when I can just copy paste? There. There. I can just do this. I completely fucking forgot I can just do this. I'm like, I'm stupid! I'm stupid. I'm so fucking stupid. Whatever. Yeah, here's a good trick. Copy paste. Grab it. And select it. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Where's that thing I just made? Hang on. Grab it. Copy paste. Grab it. Dumbass. Big stupid ass. How much time did I just fucking waste? It doesn't look great around the edges, which, you know, is bad, but we'll just combine these layers. Was there some reason? No, there was no reason. I was just being fucking, I was just being stupid. Alright, we're gonna try to clean that up just a little bit as much as we can. It's not gonna look perfect. Yeah, that doesn't look great, actually. I don't know, how's that look? Oh, that looks bad when you zoom out, actually. Shit. Hang on, let's see how much I can, like... This is all completely unnecessary, but I just feel... That looks bad. Unless I blurred it. Hang on. Let me make a new level. Good. Yeah, I'd have to blur it regardless, I think. That's another thing. You do... Fuck. I'm bad at drawing! Okay, hang on. View, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I don't want that much. I want a light blur. This. Blurred just slightly, like that. And then we'll erase some of this outer side. Just try to keep it in line. Big issue is just, I don't know, hang on, maybe I can like, let's do this again. Now this is kind of just absurd, doing way more than I need to, but I don't know. I'm just at the point where I feel like it. Oops, wrong layer. Let's try that again. Okay, copy paste. Grab it. We want to move this layer up above. I'm sorry that I'm kind of clamming up and not talking during this. This is just a thing that is not super good looking. Issue with patterns like this too. I don't know. How does that look if I zoom out? This is about the size it's going to be read from. You know what? That doesn't look terrible. That doesn't look completely terrible, I have to say. Let's combine these layers. Merge selected layers. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's rough around the edges, but yeah, it's a redraw. I think it's... Especially if I like pull it down like this. Yeah, that's barely noticeable, baby. Let's go. If you zoom in, it's really noticeable. But if you're just reading it, you know, you're gonna like glance at that and then move on. I think that's decent. I think I've done a decent job, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out after I post this if people flame me for my really bad redraw. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. Ooh. Okay, here's another line I gotta kind of redo. We'll just make this sort of stutter. And here again is my personal PG-13. You know, you get a hell. You can have a hell. You can have a single hell. Just one. You know, we're playing by early 2000s PG. You know, where characters could say drop a little, could be a little edgy. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, save. Now on to the next page. Take a sip of tea first, though. Oh, yeah, like I said, there was actually, what's it called? Wait, what the hell? Oh, here we go. All right. What was I saying? There was actually a different. I was actually looking into translating something new, not too long ago. Not too long ago. Yesterday. Yesterday, I was looking into translating something new, and I started just looking through it, and I was wondering, like, hey, this is a pretty popular book. Like, you know, this is not a niche thing. This was very popular. Like, when this was sold, this sold out. Like, it was out of print for a while. Why hasn't someone translated this? So I went in to kind of just check and see, like, oh, well, let me just, you know, give it a quick look through and see, what does this look like? I look through it, and I'm, you know, for the first, like, 10 pages, it's kind of like, oh, well, this looks, now, this doesn't look too bad. This looks kind of fine. Why, what's the deal with this? Is this just, like, people weren't feeling like it? Or, like, you know, what happened here? Why hasn't someone done this? And I get to about the 8th page, or I get to, you know, several pages in, and I realize, oh, this is why. And it was because all the text was written, like, it was always over a character like this. Like, it was over a part of their body, or just some other part of them. I saw that, I was like, oh, that's why, because this would require, fuck, oh god, I just hit a button on my keyboard. I just hit the bad button on my keyboard that fucks everything up. Oh no. I hit the fuck my life button. There we go, we're fine. But yeah, it was just an insane amount of redrawing that you'd have to do. And it was the kind of redrawing where it was like, if you were bad at it, it would be obvious. And it would look bad. And people would be upset about it. It's just like, yeah, I'm not good enough at this. And I had to, you know, like I said, there's occasionally times when you just have to be like, well, I'm not going to be able to do this, so I shouldn't. You know, you have to know your own limits and know that if you were to do something, the result would be not as good as you want it to be. Yeah, oh dear is right. Really nice. That's what I've seen sort of stumbles a lot, like when there's big delays in translation for certain stuff. It's typically because, you know, the people translating it have pretty, you know, not even big, just good standards. They just have, hang on, they just have like good standards overall for what they're looking to do, and you know, they don't want to compromise on that in a way that's going to then affect what the artist put through. Like, they don't want to compromise on it, and then this series or this one shot that had extremely good art suddenly doesn't. Suddenly it's like, hey, well, now this, you know, the art's all covered up by poor redrawing, you know, and people just don't want to do that. You know, people, like I said, it's almost always a passion project when it comes to Scanlation like this. It's, you know, people doing it because they enjoy the source and they want other people to enjoy it as well. And that's not, you're not going to enjoy it. Other people aren't going to enjoy it if you do a bad job typesetting it or redrawing it or just scanlating it in general. There's a limit to how much you can get away with. And, people don't want to make it seem like they're just doing it to get away with it. But that's a bit too big. Here's a quick tip. If it can fit in a single line like this over, you never want to go too big. You don't want to go so big just because you can. You want to have a personal limit. Yeah, good. Oh, hang on, this is the wrong text. Almost left that. This needs to be wild. Actually, did I fuck up on page 65? Hang on. Was page 65, did I do the wrong thing on that? Where is it? No, page 65 is fine. There's one word. Okay. Yeah. What was I saying? No one ever wants to do a bad job unless they're, MTL translators. They just don't give a shit. They just want some quick credit. But generally speaking, people want to do justice to the series. Getting into translating it all for me actually was kind of an instance where I was peer pressured into it by a friend of mine who knew I knew Japanese and was like, hey, you should, at the time I hadn't told him about it, but I had already translated a couple erotic works. And he kind of just approached me like, hey, you should also translate this. You should, hang on, did I accidentally? Oh, I did. I accidentally, hitting the fuck me up button on my computer also changed my expression. Whoopsie. But he knew I translated stuff, and he was like, hey, you should translate this series too. It'd be good. And I was like, I don't know about that. That's kind of, I've never translated and also typeset. At the time, I was just better at translating. And I wasn't even that good at translating, I'd say, actually. It's kind of like, I was acceptable. I wasn't quite at a point where I was super comfortable rewriting lines. Like I would try to stay very literal and try to keep as close to the original text as I could, which didn't make for great reading a lot of the time. A lot of the time things would come off as kind of stilted or, any variety of that, just not great in general. And that was something it took me a bit to get over, actually. Hang on, sorry. I'm trying to read what this sound effect is and get it. But yeah, he didn't know that I had sort of what I was good at was obviously just translating. And he asked me, hey, you should do this. And I was like, well, if you can, I looked at it, I was like, well, if you can find me a high quality raw of it, I'll consider it. And like a day later, he came back with a high quality raw. I was like, oh, I've got an entire folder of them actually for every single chapter. Here you go. I was like, oh, goddamn. All right, fine, I'll do it. Whatever. I guess I can do this. And that turned out to be quite a lot. There was also a delay in that. I translated like 2 or 3 chapters of that, and then took like a 3-month break because it turned out to be a lot more than I thought it was going to be. And you know, eventually I got back on it, so it was fine. But yeah, that was the start of me taking a long time for it. That was Darkness Heals Lily. That was another Ultraman manga I subbed. And once I finished that, and that was one of, you know, after I got back on the horse with that one, that was kind of a moment where I first realized how much I enjoyed sort of translating and typesetting as like an activity. You know, because it's not necessarily going to be something everyone finds fun, but I started to find it very fun. Like there was a point of time where I think I released like 3 chapters of pretty like longer than this. Like each of those chapters I think was like 15 pages, and I managed to release about 3 of them over the course of 2 days, I think. Like I started getting those things out fast. And it was just a moment where like I was like, all right, hell yeah. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking do this. I'm gonna keep going. And to the point where the people in the community where I was subbing it for even started being like, hey, we're really grateful for this, but you're kind of pumping these out really fast. Are you sure you shouldn't take a little break? They're like, no, I'm fine. Here's the next chapter too. Here, I've got the next chapter here. Oh, and the next chapter after that. We're growing, we're going, we're moving, we're schmoving. And it was you know, it was a good time. I enjoyed those days a lot, actually. It was a lot of fun to just go absolutely as far as I could. And in the end, I got pretty far. Just on my own, you know? But there are limits. Nope, that's not what I want. Blur. Well, that's not what I want. Sort of really light. Yeah, there we go. Nice. That doesn't look great. Oi. Bad. Bad. Just clean that up a bit. Not great, but I'll live with it. Glock, please, dear God. Yeah, literally. Didn't tie you down. No, because they wanted the chapters too. It was like one person being like, hey, can you calm down a little bit? And I said, no, I can't. Because it was at the point, it was also like as the series was starting to end. So I was like, oh, this is so good. This is so much fun. I'm loving this, you know? And it was just nice. It was nice. It was a good time. You know? No, I think I can probably actually clean this. This wasn't something I had originally. I was just gonna do this as a. What's it called? An SFX, but I think I can. Let me check. What do I have a font that would be good for this? It needs to be like a handwritten font. Maybe this. Oh, that's the wrong font color. Hey, that ain't bad. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, let's start using that. Let me throw this on my favorites, actually. This is pretty good. Wiener hand. Where's the V's? Wiener hand. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was a really fun time. I remember the reason I had so much more time was actually because I was in university at the time. And I was on break at the time. It was like mid-January, so I had just time to do whatever. And I decided to use that time to translate stuff, which was fun. Oh, that's not right. Hang on, let's go back to saves. That's another thing. I didn't mention it, but if you're gonna do typesetting, a good idea is to have a if whatever program you're using has it available, it's a good idea to have a separate set of fonts that you use regularly in your translations, because otherwise you're just going to be going through a massive list of every single one of your system's fonts every time you do it, and that's quite a lot. You know, that's a lot to put up with, and there's no real reason to, you know, you want to make things as easy for yourself as possible when you're doing typesetting and subs. Otherwise, it's just not gonna be a good time for you. You're gonna find yourself burning out a lot more easily, which nobody wants to do. No one wants to burn out if they can avoid it. Luckily, I did not burn out from that little bout of going extremely fast. I managed to keep myself pretty solid, all things considered. You know, final chapter came out like 2 days after it was released. It was a good time. Let's see, can I? There's no fucking way I'm gonna draw this. Okay. Like I said, knowing your limits is a great thing. It's a very good thing to know, to be able to look at something and say, there's no fucking way I can do that, so let's just not. Let's just do the most inoffensive thing we can with that. Like this. This is relatively inoffensive. Can I fit this? If you can, you want to try to fit everything inside the boundaries of the... What's it called? You want to try to fit everything as much in the same area as you can. You don't want to go outside of panels. I mean, unless it's for SFX. Because that'll just look bad. That looks pretty solid. I'll take that. And hit this button to boil some water and take a break to kind of get back into talking about, pull the mic up to my mouth and we'll go on a little tangent about getting into translation. So like I said, I knew Japanese going in. I didn't learn Japanese through translating. But after I had finished translating Darkness Heals as my first series, I wanted to do more because I found out I enjoyed it. So I started this series, Ultraman Nexus. And as I was doing that series, actually, there was a weekly TV show that started airing called Advertise Sentai Dawn Brothers, which I enjoyed a lot. I talked about it with a friend every night. And I enjoyed it so much that I would, every single night around 7 p.m. EST, I would go to a Twitch stream where somebody broadcasted TV Asahi, like the entire channel, everything that was on it, for the entire like Sunday morning Toei block. So it would go Precure, Kamen Rider, and then Super Sentai. And I was there for the Super Sentai part of it. I didn't really care. At that point, I didn't really care about Precure. I had never watched it. That was when Deli Pre was airing, I think. So I'd never watched Precure, so that was just there for me. Like, I would sometime catch the tail end of it. I'd watch Kamen Rider on and off, but really I was going there for the Sentai, for Dawn Brothers, and I'd watch it every single night. Then I'd have to wait like 24 hours for the big groups to translate it and to get done with it. And it, you know, my buddy, of course, didn't speak Japanese, doesn't speak a word of it. I don't even know if he's learned his katakana yet. He said he was going to try to, but I don't know if he did. But I would watch the Raws every single night. I'd love it. And I'd just be like shaking, waiting to talk to him about it. And, you know, it would take a long time. And eventually got to the point where I think episode 8 of the show was such, in my mind at least, such an insane turn of events, such an insane tone shift for the show, And it was so good that I was like, I cannot wait 24 hours to talk about this with him. I need to talk about it with him tonight. So I went onto Kitsu, which is basically a website that has television captions for like a ton of different Japanese shows, for like animes, dramas, and a whole lot of other stuff like that. And I downloaded the captions for that newest episode. I did not know how to subtitle. I did not know how to use Aegis Sub. I did not know how to edit ASS files or SRT files. I got that thing. I double clicked on it. It opened a fucking notepad document with a bunch of individual timings on it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking do this. And I ended up. I manually edited every single time for every single line in the episode to line up. It took me longer to do the timings than it did to translate it. But I did it. It took me, I want to say, about 6 hours. So like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. probably. I ping him on Discord, like, hey, I subbed this episode. Apply this fucking sub file right now. Watch the episode so we can talk about it. And of course, it's fucking 2 a.m. So he was like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm like, oh, fuck you, fine, whatever. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow anyways. What am I gonna do with this? I'll upload my sub file to Tumblr and fucking M. Whatever. And people appreciated it and liked it and were like, wow, this is great. Are you gonna do this again next week? And I was like, no. No, what are you, crazy? This took me like 7 hours. And then the next week I found a sub file program and did it in 5 hours and uploaded it again. Then the week after that, someone finally told me, hey, are you not using Aegis Sub? That's like been the gold standard for subbing programs since like 2006. Are you using something else? I had to quietly go install Aegis Sub, and then things were streamlined basically to the best point they were going to be. And it would take me varying amounts of time to sub each episode. Like if yeah, right. Like, if an episode didn't have captions available, which happened every so often, then it would take me like 8 hours to sub, and they would be out at like 6 in the morning. I was like, I'm typing like, here's the episode. I'm gonna pass out. Let me know if there's any errors, and I'll fix it sometime tomorrow. Yeah, it was a lot. And and then I subbed 30 more episodes of that show. And, I don't know how many. I can actually check. I have a fucking website. I have a fucking website where I host my subs. I can literally just go check how many episodes I did. Let's see. Avatar Sentai Down Brothers. Let's see. I think I've really only missed like 3 episodes once I got into it. So, which episodes didn't I sub? I did not sub. So, episode 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. As you can tell, I was just like, there were days where I'd be traveling and it's like, okay, I don't have my computer, can't sub. And then there'd be days where it's like, oh, I just don't feel like it today. I'm just not going to do it. This episode wasn't the most insane fucking thing to ever happen. I'm just going to not sub tonight, or I wouldn't feel well. Which, yeah, it was cool. This was also something, this started in 2022. So I had started subbing this show before I started streaming. And so then when I started streaming, I was still subbing the show. Like, this show went until February of 2023. So the entire first year I was streaming, I was also subbing this show every Saturday night, which is why for the first year I did not stream on weekends, because I would basically sleep all day Saturday in preparation for the episode to come out. Go into a huge state for 5 hours to sub the show, and then I would pass out for all of Sunday. And it was like, I couldn't stream. I couldn't stream like that, so I didn't stream for the first on the weekends for the first year. And now I don't do that anymore, and I will never do it again. My God. An insane amount of work. Plus I later found out that there was another solo group who subbed it. and would get it out like 3 hours after me. So it was like, okay, so this is literally just subs for the ultra desperate. What am I even? I'm not gonna fucking do this again. Holy shit! I subbed the first episode of the serial of the show that came after Dawn Brothers. I subbed the first episode, and then I was like, you know what? I'm tired, and also this show isn't as good, so I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop doing this for a bit. And then I focused on Glock for a bit. But that the trailer for that next show, King Osier, like I said, that was re-uploaded onto Twitter, and that wound up being the single most popular sub I ever did, to the point where one of the streamers I follow, one of the VTubers I follow, Virtual Hero V, who's very fun. You should go follow her, by the way. She fucking watched that trailer on her stream as I was in her chat watching her watch what I had subbed. And I couldn't say anything because I was sitting there like, this is so fucking embarrassing. I was like spotting mistakes I made in it. Like, oh god, I misspelt that. Oh god, that's mistranslated. Oh god, that's offset. That subtitle is off center by half a fucking millimeter. God, I'm gonna kill myself. And yeah, it's I never want to get that big again. I want to spend the rest of my life subbing weird fucking Telvikud manga from the early 2000s. I never want to blow up again. Thanks. But yeah, that was what it was like for a while. And then I did QC for a year and fell off the horse pretty hard. I stopped translating. I wasn't actively translating for a while, actually. It took a while for me to get back on it. And once I did, it was with that chapter that I basically just uploaded, actually. Chapter 3, that was like, I did that, and then I've just fallen back into it so easily. It's like, I hate to say it's like riding a bike, but it really is. Like, once you know how to do it, you can just fall back into it so easily, and it's like, it feels like you never stop. It's just lots of fun, It's a fun thing to do. Translating is fun. Typesetting is fun. It'd be cool if I could make a bit of money with it, but, you can't have everything. That's no good. This isn't great. What can I do here? I think I can do this. That's a bit too far to the left, actually. Can. Where am I? Okay, there we go. That's a bit too far up. See, this is the other thing. You gotta know when to stop. You gotta know when to say, "Oh wow, I'm kind of going too far with this." But it's fun translating. Translating is fun. It's a nice little activity. I wouldn't say it's relaxing. Sometimes it's very stressful, but it's fun. Yeah. This could be sort of better, and it could probably be a bit bigger. 25. Yeah. Yep, that'll do. Okay. Yeah. That kind of covers the whole how I got into it and how I wound up doing it again. And there's other stuff I also have been meaning to translate for the entire time that I wasn't able to do. I've actually already started one of them back up again. and you know, sort of that one I'm doing more on and off. You know, that's like, why is my computer so loud? Oh, why is my volume up at 22? What the hell was I watching? Oh, I was watching, that's right, I was watching you, Stella. For whatever reason, your streams are like slightly quieter than I like, so I end up turning up the volume on them. Whoops. I didn't even realize that. No wonder everything's been so loud. No wonder my ears have been hurting. Ah, spooky. This could be a bit bigger, actually. Or I think, yeah, that could be a bit bigger. Especially now that it's actually sized right. Base piece. Photo. Okay, cool. Let's save. Yeah, that's a better sound. Oh. Oh. No, it's fine. It happens with another streamer I watch too. It happens with a lot of, you know, randomly channel. I hope my channel's not. I hope my stream isn't too quiet. Oh god, that'd be terrifying. I just brought that up and then it's like, oh, my stream is also quiet. God. Gain turned down from laptop shenanigans and never fixed it. Ah. That will do it. That will, in fact, do it. Yeah. I think my gain is still super, like, tweaked out. Like, super duper, just, what's it called? Super strict. Because I used to live right next door. Like, my immediate roommate was so loud. I sound fine? Okay, good, I'm glad. I'm glad my thing isn't terrible. That's too small. 6. It's too big. 5. Perfect size. Maybe not. Looks kind of fucked. Yeah, it's alright. I'll just fix that. This one will just get a little brush and fill in. Go. This could be filled in on the top a little bit. There we go. No, that's still a bit rough on the top. I think there's just like some bits sticking out that I can stand to remove. Hang on. Ah! No. Ah! Stop. No. Oh, okay, whatever. Just have to fill this in. Fine. Fuck it, sure. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now let's get back to this. Let's get back to the work part. Get back to the text part. Oh. Yeah, let's see. Well, I have my tangent sheet here. My tangent sheet is just like everything I thought I should talk about tonight. And it was a Google Doc sheet, but I didn't want to have Google Docs open on like 2 separate things, so I just took a screenshot of it. So I'm like scrolling through it, trying to see if there's anything I told myself I should talk about that I haven't. Let's see. Excuse me. There is a thing I mean talk about, but I'm saving that for the end. I just spilled tea on myself. This cup was filled too high. I think yep, that's burning. Yep, that's burning my chest. Ow. Oh god. Ow. Oh, yeah, that's burning tea on my chest. Ow. Okay. Ow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! Ow! I'm sorry about that. That was really stupid of me. I forgot that cup was like filled all the way up to the brim and was just teetering on it. Yeah. That's fine. No, that's fine. That was just hotter than I expected. That was just, I ran to throw some water and clean that off. Yeah, that's it. That's everything I had to say about that. My poor flesh, yeah. Let's talk about some just random stuff now while I finish this up. There's what, 2 pages left? Yeah, there's like 2 pages left. What else was there on here I want to talk about? I'm unemployed. I'm unemployed. I've been trying to fix that pretty hard lately, but it's turns out to be a bit harder than, I thought it would be originally. Luckily, it's not like I could probably afford to pay rent for another several months without having to worry about being employed. Before it gets to the point where I have to start really, really, rationing my food. But it's still not very good. Other than that, though, it's like it's mostly just a matter of like I'll look at jobs, and it's like you look at the requirements and what's expected, and it's like, oh yeah, we expect you to work 10-hour shifts with a flexible schedule. We will change the days you work regularly. And it's like, look, pal. Look, I'm not trying to do that again. I've done that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to have a Monday to Friday. Give me a 9 to 5. Give me a 9 to 5. Give me a 7 to 2, for God's sake. I'll take a 7 to 2. Please. Please don't make me work flexible schedules again. I will not make it. I will not make it. God. But, it's going. Speaking of making money. Speaking of money, I am I mean, maybe not after this stream, but generally speaking, I'm surprisingly close to affiliate. I didn't even want to. I shouldn't have even said that. I shouldn't have even. Now it's definitely not going to happen. Now it's 100% just not going to happen. But I don't know. I felt like mentioning it. I just hit the requirement for like my average viewership. Yeah. Now it's just never going to happen. Another 2 years of not being affiliate. I'm going to hit 100 followers before I hit affiliate, and it's going to be so funny. Gonna have a 100-follower celebration where no one can redeem anything, and we're just sitting here in a circle playing cards. Oh, thank you, Stella. I appreciate that. I don't know. It probably won't happen now that I brought it up, but I don't know. Maybe if my Metal Gear stream is really, really good. Last goal, making technically, as of right now, technically the last goal I need to make is just streaming 7 days. So I'm wondering, like, could I just I feel like this is a violation of Twitch rules. I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't even suggest that I'm gonna do it. But could I just like start a 30-second stream every day for the next couple days, and like would that work? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't, and I shouldn't say that. That's definitely against Twitch TOS. God. But yeah, technically, because my Resident Evil stream was like 7 hours long. That makes sense. Yeah, I knew it had to be something like that. Like there must have been some thing they had to do. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was like, what is it? The 1 p.m. time is pretty good. That's a fun time to stream, just in general for me. Because if I stream then, I can just keep going for like hours and hours. But this is like a realistic time though. This like a 5 p.m. slot is like if I was gonna get a job and keep streaming, I'm gonna keep streaming regardless. But if I was gonna get like a good 9 to 5, this would be like the time I end up keeping it, you know. But who knows? This is almost done. I'm pretty close to being done with this chapter. Oh boy. Throw a little gun there. Guh. I feel like such a fucking asshole putting. This wasn't originally guh. This was originally. Hang on, I'll write it. This was originally. Oh, this. That's funny. Wild words can't support. I gotta. That's funny as fuck. But I don't know. I feel like such an asshole doing it. I love slipping guzz into my translations, just getting them in there, just like, you know, if the guy goes, ugh, that it's like, oh well, I'm gonna translate that as guh. I'm gonna translate that as guh, and it's gonna, you know, no one's gonna know that I stayed up late watching Maury Calliope's birthday live. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna make fun of me for it like they did when Maury Calliope was my 4th most listened to artist of 2023. No one can make fun of me for it if they don't know I'm doing a bit. But regardless, oh god, come on. But yeah. Get that centered. Also, by the way, I know I've been talking about this manga, but I don't actually recommend anyone who follows me read this fucking manga because it doesn't make any sense. Because it's essentially a recap manga for fucking kids who were watching the show who missed a couple episodes, and it's like, hey, here's 9 pages of recap for what happened in the last 5 episodes of this show, and there are 10 chapters to cover about 40 episodes of television. It's bad. It doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't read it. You do not read Ultraman Nexus the manga, but you should watch Ultraman Nexus the TV show. But yeah, so it goes. I do have another, like I said, there's another thing I'm working on translating that's much longer. That's like just 30 pages straight up that I'm trying to have out. I probably won't have it out soon. I've got like 6 pages translated right now. It's harder to translate though because the kanji in it don't have like this, because it's meant for fucking babies. Every bit of kanji has furigana, which is just like little hiragana on top of it that makes it easier to read. So that's made this go a lot faster. The other one is an actual, made for actual people over the age of 5. So it does not have that. So it takes a good bit longer to translate, but hopefully I can have that out. I probably won't have it out in April, but hopefully I have it out soonish. Anyway, oh, that's not right. I need you to be OCRA. Thanks. No, I need you to be. No, you motherfucker. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me when I'm like a minute away from being done with this. What size? This is 28. I get this to 28? Oh, wait. Alright. 25. We'll also reduce this to 25. Cool. Wild birds. center that. Can I redraw this? I can probably redraw this. I feel like it can be kind of hard to decide what you... I feel like deciding what you want to redraw is a bit of a toss-up sometimes, you know? You don't want to go so far that it's hard to read, but... Okay. That's... Oh. It's smaller. It takes so long to redraw, too, the thing. Like, it's such just a... What are you even... What are you doing? What am I doing? What am I doing with this? No, that's we'll put that there, and then we will erase. We'll combine all these, and then we will start erasing them. Oh, fuck. You know what? It's probably going to be a lot easier to do this if I just do this. Select, clear. Nice. Okay. Let's find my coloring. Let's get the stencil. I don't remember what the fucking color of his name was. It's black. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Fine. It's fine. Got this. Give this the white outline. The white outline. Yep. Like that. Bold it. Justify it. Make this tiny. Nice. And then perfect. Okay. What else is there to talk about? I don't have that much to talk about for this stream because this was mostly me planning on just relying on, you know, being able to talk about translation and scanlation for 2 hours. Which I think I was able to. What is this? This is 2 hours 30. This will have been a pretty decent length stream. But yeah, I wish I had more. I should have done more interesting things over the last day. What did I do today? Did I do anything cool today? I went to the store. I rode my bike to the store. That cool? Is that a cool thing to do? I rode my bike to the store and I bought myself, while I was there, I bought myself a drink. I bought myself a little bottle of, excuse me. I bought myself a little bottle of sparkling water that tasted like mango and orange. And I was like, oh boy, sparkling water, tasty drink. I'm gonna put this in my bike's drink holder and take it home with me and drink it when I get home. It's a little after bike ride thing. Just be more interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not more interesting. I will endeavor to live a more interesting life in the days to come. But yeah, I put it in my bike holder, my drink holder, and I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have a tasty drink when I get home. Whoopee, yay. And almost immediately, as I took off with my bike, at some point within the first 2 minutes of me riding my bike, it fell out of my drink holder and now it's just on the street somewhere, and I accidentally littered. It's like, oh great, this fucking sucks. What the hell? Now what am I gonna do? So now I don't have a drink. I don't have a tasty treat. I don't have a treat to get me through the day. I just have my actual dinner that I haven't even cooked. I haven't eaten since I had breakfast. My breakfast was fucking a pork bun, and I haven't eaten since then. And it's like, oh my god. God damn it. I just want to eat, dog. What the fuck? But yeah. Now I'm just now I'm not doing anything, actually. I'm just chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm hanging out. I'm doing nothing in particular. Okay, we're gonna save this as 72 title. Right, 72, yes. Save this as 72. Sobbing, no treat, yeah, right. My tasty little treat. Luckily, it only cost like 50 cents. So it's not like I lost a lot. But regardless. Anyway, now comes... We're done. We finished it. We typeset the entire thing. Yay, woohoo! Now comes the fun part. Now we get to make a title card, or we get to make a credits page. Yay! So, what I've decided I want to try to do. This is how I've seen people make it. I've never made a complicated credits page. Usually my credits page is just, I go here, I make a square, and it's just a square. Like, it's literally just a square, and I like make it white. And then I'll throw on some text like QI for reading. No, motherfucker. Just throw on some text like QI for reading chew. And then there's my name. And that's it. That's my entire credits page. I'm not gonna do that this time. I want to try to have a nicer credits page, so I'm gonna emulate what I've seen other people do, which is literally just. Actually, what am I doing? I should do this, which is just making the cover page a little transparent. You know, you make it like that, and then you put, and then you type it out. So what's a good credits page? What should we put on our credits page for this time? For this fun little thing? Because like I said, I didn't put a credits page on my last chapter, which I should have. I just couldn't think of anything at the time. But what should our credits page be this time? I have an idea what it should be. We're gonna go ahead at this. We're gonna resize it. By reading. And I will let them know that this is not going to be the new pace. We're gonna lie. We're gonna lie here. We're not gonna say why there's a new chapter out. We're just gonna say, hey, there was some extra time. Okay, we're gonna say that. Yeah, right. No, I just had time. No, we're not. We're keeping this secret. Everyone, every Glock fans, Glock viewers get to know the forbidden information, but the manga readers, manga readers don't get to know this. And then we're gonna say something witty. We're gonna say something quippy and witty, like I don't know. What are we gonna say? We gotta say something cool. We gotta say something cool and epic, and it's makes people think, wow, that's awesome, epic. What are we gonna say? What are we gonna say, chat? Yeah, you guys get the deep lore. What are we gonna say here? I've got the perfect thing to put. I know exactly what we're gonna put. gonna write that, and then we're gonna... That's a bit tiny. Let's get a bigger image. Get a bigger image. Where's a bigger image? Who has a bigger image? That's 5 by 5. I need a bigger cover. I guess that's as big as it gets. All right, that's fine. Oh wait, no, it's bigger here. Hang on, copy, paste. Nope, that looks like shit. Okay, we're just gonna go with the original one. Copy, paste. Nope. This one. Here we go. Copy, paste. Nope, that one's shit too. Hang on. Need to have a good quality cover. Gotta find the high quality version of it. Where is it? 5 by 5. Come on. Is there a higher quality version of the 5 by 5 though? Take that one. That'll do it. Okay, that'll do. What a great credits page. What a perfectly done credits page. Oh, I have to also put my name. Whoops. Hang on. I forgot. That's the whole reason I'm not even following my own advice. The whole reason you make a credits page is so you can put your name somewhere in the corner. Like here. There we go. All right, and there we go. Yes, very normal credits page. Perfectly, exactly like all my other credits page. Don't actually go check my credits page to see what they're like. This is exactly what my credits pages are like. Where is this now? Yep, here we go. Card. Save. All right, there we go. Pretend to not see it. Oh, did that just show my entire, like... Did that just show my entire, like, file directory or something? Did I just dox myself? Hang on. No, it didn't. Right? Did that just dox me? No, it didn't. Oh, okay, good. I heard you say that. I was like, oh god, did I just fucking show my shit? Oh, with the credits? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, don't worry about it. Anyway, there we go. That's a now badly timed joke. So it goes. It happens. It's fine. We all hit them every once in a while. Anyway, that's it. That's we did it. We did it, chat. We did a typesetting together. The credits. I should have put chat in the credits as my motivator, my great motivating factor. At the same moment, except OBS 100% did dead to edit. Oh no. That's rough. Oh god. Well, it happens. You know. But yeah, there we go. I guess I may as well upload this now. And then chat. You can chat, VOD watchers, you can all... Stella, you can go. I mean, you really shouldn't read this unless you've seen the TV show. I'm being so for real. It makes no sense. It barely makes sense to me, and I watched the TV show. I watched the entire show, and it still barely makes any fucking sense to me. But yeah, it's I guess I can probably show off. What's it called? I can probably show also the process that goes into. If you've never seen. What happens when you upload something on MangaDex. Or maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Oh, really? No. Yeah, fuck it, I may as well. Well, what's the... Is there anything on here you can see? You can kind of see there's an icon in the top right corner. It's like an old profile picture of me. Yeah, let's change that. Let's just change that cap. Yeah, okay. Awesome. There we go. Okay, now there's literally nothing identifying me on this. So I can properly... We'll go back to gaming. Gaming! Glock gaming! That's not right. Don't look at that. That's my file directory. Whoops. Here it is. Here we go. Okay, so here's now the process of uploading a chapter on MangaDex. You click your group name. That's my group name. Hey, that's me. You go and you hit the chapter number. What chapter is this? 6? Is this chapter 6? Is this chapter 4? I think this is chapter 5, actually. Right? Is this chapter 5? I need to check. I have to check now if this is actually chapter 5. Hang on. I uploaded it. It's on my Twitter. Hang on. This is chapter 5. Okay. I know things. We're uploading this in English, and then we gotta just go and select the pages. Going from page 61 to 72. Awesome. We're just gonna change the order of these to make sure the credits page, the very last one. Then we're going to wait a couple seconds. If you don't wait for all these to finish uploading individually, it will break and it will not work, and you will have wasted your time and you will have to restart the entire process. Anyway, then you just hit upload. Oh boy. Give it a couple seconds. We'll go into our updates so we can quickly, you can see all the manga I read. Oh no, don't look at what I read. It's all just trashy villainous manga. It's just trashy villainous manga and stuff I haven't unfollowed. Okay, now we're gonna sit here and we're gonna refresh. We're gonna refresh until it's uploaded. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, you motherfucker. Come on. Come on. It takes a minute. It takes a minute sometimes. It takes a minute. How long did that take? This did take like, I don't know if it took 2.5 hours actually, because I got distracted a lot. I'd say it took 2 hours when you total everything up, you know. 2 hours is probably as long as it took. Is it uploaded? It's not. Why is this taking so long? It didn't used to take so long. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. You just gotta. There it is! Chapter 5, let's fucking go! And now I can have one final chance to QC everything and check. Yep, that's good. That's it. This is a bit small, but that's because I have it to fit the height instead of fitting width. Yeah, if you fit width, it looks fine. Oh, you can totally see. That's totally fucked. That's totally fucked. I mean, if you're looking for it, you can see it. If you're not looking for it, it probably looks fine. That's a bad break, though. I shouldn't have done that. That's a terrible fucking break. Dark map. Dark map. Why did I do it like that? Yippee! Oh, God. Alright. Yep. Wow, look at this. Look at this all uploaded, looking nice. Wow, we did it. And then there's that page, and then here's our credits page. You always gotta be shilling for your Oshi 24/7, even when you're uploading personal projects. You're always you always gotta be shilling. You gotta be shilling your Oshi's new fucking album. You gotta be shilling your Oshi's new single every fucking day of every waking moment. I'm shilling this shit every goddamn day. I'm a fucking high tier shill. I'm shilling in ways people didn't even know you could shill. I'm up there. I'm stupid. Well, that's the stream. That's the stream. If you go back in the stream, you said, yeah, that's a good way to break up. Fuck. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I probably did. I'm stupid. Oh, but yeah. Well, I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. There's some bad stuff there. It's not all great. you know. Oh well. Anyway, I guess I don't know. I feel like I should end stream. Because I want to eat dinner, is the thing. I've got chicken thighs marinating in my fridge that I covered in some chashu seasoning. I really want to eat that. I really want to cook that, and I really want to eat it on a hoagie roll. Some big old daikon and mayo. Big old fuck shit on me. But yeah, I should eat. Anyway. Oh, you know, one thing that was weird that happened, I'll probably mention this tomorrow too, but I'll mention it now too. I actually got contacted by an indie dev on Twitter to stream one of their games, which was weird, because I was like, wow, why did they contact me? I have like, I'm not even an affiliate. I have like, I don't even have Twitter followers. What the fuck? Why are they contacting me? And I looked through their stuff and I looked into their game and I was like, oh, okay, this seems kind of sketchy. And I asked them, you know, they were like, oh yeah, we'll send you a code to play our game on stream. And I was like, okay, this is obviously a promotion, so what are the terms of the promotion? Like, what do I have to do? And they're like, oh, you do whatever. We don't actually expect you to do anything. Here's a code for the game. Go play it on stream, please. I kind of looked at it like, I don't know if I should even redeem this code. This feels like this is gonna like get in my computer somehow. Like I'm gonna get a virus or something. I don't know. But anyway. Is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna end stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching me do my progress, and thanks for listening to me talk like a little weirdo. What the fuck is that? Has that been there? Oh. That's the fucking transparency trigger in VC face. It's been there the entire time. No. God damn it. Whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna... whatever. Thank you for watching. I will be streaming on Friday at 1 p.m. CST, 2 p.m. EST. I will be playing Metal Gear Solid for the first time. And thank you for coming, Stella. I might edit this down into a shorter video. I'm not totally sure. I'm like 50-50 on that right now. But I might. Anyway, thank you for coming. Have a good night. I will see you on Friday. Goodbye. My throat hurts. My throat hurts because I've been trying to do voice training. I still can't go very high. I still, if I try to talk from up here, I still break my voice like super fucking fast. And I was trying to do it a lot before stream because I was taking a shower before stream, and I was like, oh, the water's running. It'll mask the sound of me doing this for my neighbors. And my voice cracked a lot. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it not crack. But anyway, bye.